Hi guys, it's Jess FL here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be talking you guys through my Game Week 20 team selection, everything you need to know, what rank I am in, how did I do for Game 19. So let's just jump into the selection. So this is my Game Week 19 squad. Now, scored a total of 47 points this week, despite only having 9 players playing this week, with 2 scoring 0 points. So basically, it's 7 players, which I think I generally did really well. Did get a slight green arrow, a very great game week. And let's just start off with here. Beckman, he didn't play. Tierney, one of the big pointers in my team, the second highest scoring player in my team. 13 points, generally a really great performance from Kieran Tierney, as Arsenal managed to win 5-0. He did score a goal, kept the clean sheet, so really happy with what he did. And really great performance. Also got a bonus point. So Kieran Tierney played really well. He played the full 90 minutes. So this just shows that his spot is more nailed on than Tomiyasu's, as Tomiyasu did not play. He was not in the team due to COVID, and I think I did make a really great decision bring him in over Tomiyasu a few weeks ago. And then I did talk about if he starts, he will get the better points, the most points. Last few weeks ago, Tomiyasu was the more nailed-on option, but eventually Tierney kept his place in this team and he delivered a big point this week. Next here, James. Now James got an own goal, but I think it didn't really affect my rank because a lot of people captained him and was punished, and people looked at that Aston Villa team thinking that Chelsea could have kept the clean sheet. But unfortunately, he did score own goal. He didn't get the clean sheet, so 0 points from him. Next, Marcus Alonso. Now, Marcus Alonso, he got 1 point, got 2 points for the minutes he played, and then conceded a goal, so got a yellow card as well. So he didn't really did the best performance. Chelsea's defense, at the start of the season, people looked at it. It was a really solid defense. And the double up on Chelsea now isn't really paying off, and hopefully I will be selling one of these in the upcoming weeks to just raise funds, because the big at the back was working a few weeks ago, but it just slowly showed that maybe not doubling up on the Chelsea defense was the better option. Last year, Cancelo 4 points. I'll take it. To see City score 6 goals, it was a really happy day. But then to see Cancelo only getting only 4 points, getting only an assist. Yes, it could have been more than an assist, but an assist I will take it. But to see City concede 3 goals, it was a really sloppy game. It was a lot of action going on. 9-goal game, so you can't really blame Cancelo. But City are scoring a lot of goals and are in very great form. Was thinking of captaining him, but then end up with Son, the obvious captain, because he was the better choice. And let's talk about Son here. I bought him in on deadline, so bought him in, took Mohamed Salah out, and it did pay off. 16 points, scored a goal, got a clean sheet. Pretty happy with that, and I think it just raised funds because Salah, of course, going to AFCON, and Jurgen Klopp did say around game week 21 or 22 they will departure from Liverpool. So I think I made the right decision to sell him, because he was going to only play 1 more game week and then go out for AFCON. Next year, Bernardo Silva, now he got the spot in the team again. This just shows that he is a really great nailed-on player. I think he played as a false 9 in the City team. The lineup showed that De Bruyne did play as a striker first, but then he did play as a false 9. But again, to see City score 6 goals, Bernardo Silva, no returns. He got 12 possibilities to get at least a return, because 6 goals and then 6 assist points. So he did get a chance to get one, but he didn't. Very unfortunate to see City score 4 against Newcastle, 7 against Leeds, and then 6 against Leicester, and to see Bernardo Silva getting no points, it just really disappoints me. But I will keep him because he looks pretty nailed, and hopefully a big pointer will come in the upcoming game weeks. Next year, Emile Smith-Rowe, 6 points. Again, he's doing what he does, come off the bench, score. So his place in the Arsenal team isn't that nailed on, as I will be considering to sell him, and I will talk more about him in this video. Here next, Jota just captained my team because none of the players on my bench was played. So I just kept it in there. 0 points. Liverpool game did get called off, so didn't have a chance to get points here. Next, Mikel Antonio now, he didn't start. But then, as I said, Bowen was the one to start as a forward. Because if Mikel Antonio was the one to get rotated, Bowen will be that forward option. 5 points from him, come off the bench and scored. Played 45 minutes, so really happy with what he's giving me since I brought him in compared to last time I kept in. Hold him on. He scored for the first time in a very long time, so really happy with that. Next to Benteke, now Benteke, 0 points, didn't start, and again another player to consider selling as he didn't start. So need to be careful because he's placed in that new Crystal Palace team. It was not that nailed on as last time when he starting getting goals, getting opportunities to score. It's different now, and Eduardo, he's the one starting now. Let's move to my bench. No one did play, so let's just move on to the team selection, the transfer plans. So my Game Week 20 transfer plans this week is planning to take out Maxwell Cornet and bring in Jarrod Bowen. Maxwell Cornet, it was just different. When I bought him in, he didn't return. Bought him in during Game Week 15 during my wildcard, and then Game Week 16 he didn't play, and then after that all the games got postponed until now. So before that he did score 5 goals, and when I bought him in he didn't deliver. His stats wasn't the best, but thought of bringing him in as a slight differential. Now he isn't delivering and he isn't playing like how I thought he was gonna give me points, so really unfortunate. So it's time to go Maxwell Cornet out. So Bowen, there are a few other options to go for. Let's just talk about them now. So here next, I'm comparing Jarrod Bowen and Banyorama. Both really great options, but only one to replace Cornet. Yes, Smith Rowe, I was talking about to replace him. There is another player upcoming I'm going to show for another possibly player to replace Maxwell Cornet and Smith Rowe. I could go on a double up on these two, but again, during times like this, COVID matches getting postponed, it's a bit risky to triple up on West Ham, especially I already have Mikel Antonio. As you can see, Banyorama last game, he did score, but then he only got 80 minutes. Vesic, he did start, so this proves anyone can be rotated in that West Ham side, even Banyorama. For me, one is slightly cheaper, but then the cheaper one is slightly differential. Stats wise, Bowen has the better XG, XA, and he has the better, goal contribution, 3 goals, 8 assists. Well, Banyorama only has 4 goals and 3 assists, but then look at the minutes. Bowen is the more solid option, the nail-on safe option, while Banyorama is the, one to get rotated but being played very little minutes compared to Bowen. Scoring 4 goals and 3 assists is a really big point there. Ownership wise, Banyorama is just higher ownership, but then he's the cheaper price, so I could see people keeping him because a really great option, a cheap option. I was considering Jorginho because Jorginho on penalties, but then I saw that fixture wasn't a great run, and to be blanking another 2 game weeks because of the Club World Cup, I don't see Jorginho as an option. Maybe after the Club World Cup, I could look into Jorginho more as he's on penalties and he could be, winning a lot of penalties for Chelsea. Now the next player I'm considering is Damari Gray. Now Damari Gray, great fixture run until Game Week 26. Until then, a really long run of great fixtures as you can see. And now as you can see, he plays Newcastle this week. But then the upcoming weeks, Newcastle, and then Brighton, Norwich, Aston Villa, Newcastle again, Leeds and Southampton. So Newcastle twice, a really poor defense. Leeds there, not in great form. And then Southampton, could say a pretty weak defense now. So a really great run of fixtures to target, especially being that cheap. Yes, his XG and XA isn't that great as Bowen's and Banyorama's, slightly lower, but he's a cheaper option, and he did score more than Banyorama and did get more goal contribution than Banyorama, but again slight little minutes than both of them because he didn't play. Everton did not play as much fixtures as them. He did get rotated a bit, against that Chelsea game he didn't start, so a bit of a rotation risk. And I could go for Townsend when he comes back, even Calvert-Lewin is a really great option as well. But I just think a point to shout, I could go for him and a West Ham option to replace Smith Rowe and Cornet. That is my ideal transfer plan, but of course, Damari Gray probably gonna bring him around that Norwich fixture. Gonna wait and see for these two fixtures against Newcastle and Brighton. See how he starts, if his place in the team is secure, and how Everton plays. So yeah, let's move on to my Game Week 20 team selection. So starting off in goal, Daniel Beckman plays West Ham. Again, when I bought him in the wild card, I said I am not expecting much from him. Get the 90 minutes, get 2 points, get some save points, I'll be happy. If he gets a clean sheet, get a clean sheet, even more happy. My expectations for him are not too high. Every game 2 points, get some saves. That's his job. If he can get a clean sheet, I'll be happy. Not much expected from him, especially against a really strong West Ham side. So not expecting much from him. Next year, James. Now James, keeping him in probably the last week to keep him. Probably I'm going to keep him until that Liverpool fixture and then sell him, because I just do not want to waste the transfer. Especially I want to sell Alonso first, because James is more attacking option. As you can see earlier in the season, he's the more attacking one, while Alonso, he isn't just delivering much points. So James, another week to probably one of the last few weeks to show me, to prove it, to get some points for me. Next year, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Didn't sell him last week. He's here to stay. Leicester, Chelsea, Brentford, decent fixtures. He's not going to AFCON, of course. So probably going to keep him and not going to plan to sell him. He's a really solid defender, highest priced defender, and I think one of the key players in your team you must have. A nail-on option, Trent. Next, Cancelo. Again, I think Cancelo and Trent is the must-have in your defense. It's not James, it's not Alonso, it's not Chilwell. It's these two. Very solid defense. The most trustable defense you could trust now, because United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Yeah, you could say Tottenham also a quite solid defense, but I think the most trustable defense now is the Liverpool and City defense. It's a two-horse title race in my opinion. Chelsea dropping points. Drop points against Everton. They are going to start dropping points, and I think it's just going to be a two-horse race. They are going to fight for every minute, Pep and Klopp. So I just think that these two will be nailed on and pretty solid option to go to. Last year in defense, Marcus Alonso. Again, I am saying this the last week to give me some points, because I'm most likely going to sell him next week. Probably for like a Tottenham defense. As I said, Tottenham, Liverpool, and City, probably the most trustable defense now. I could go for Eric Dyer, just get the money to upgrade other places in my team, because I don't think the big at the back is working now. Moving on to the midfield here, Heung-min Son, first year. So Southampton, we could say they are having a really poor defense now currently. Poor season, not doing much. So I really want to keep Son here, and again, another possible captain shout. Son, took him out, brought him in for Mohamed Salah. Yes, his standards compared to Mohamed Salah is not that high, but again, Liverpool, City, and Tottenham, I think these are the teams you can trust to score goals for you, to get a clean sheet, to win games, because these three teams are looking the most solid now. Chelsea, conceding goals here and there, and their attackers are not scoring that much. Next year, Bernardo Silva, he's here to stay, guys. Not gonna sell him. He's here to stay in my team. Probably gonna keep him. Maybe during the Arsenal and Chelsea game, could considering selling him. But again, he's a really nail-on option in that City side. No Pep roulette. Hopefully no Pep roulette. Not gonna, gonna jinx it. But hopefully he gets another week to start, and hopefully he can prove how good he is against Brentford. Hopefully get some returns. Next year, Bowen, the new player, coming to my team. Watford, having Beckman in my team, as I said, I'd rather have Bowen to score than Beckman, because even if West Ham score and Bowen doesn't get involved, I will lose points from both players. So, Jarrod Bowen, really great. I could say one of the great budget options for around his price. Him, Rafinha, Saka, these are the options you should go for around that price. And I think he's a really great value for money. 6.5, a cheap midfielder to go to. Next, Diogo Jota. I think he's gonna start most of the games since Salah and Mane is going to AFCON, and probably him, Divock Origi, and Firmino, even Minamito, the Japanese guy, he could even start. So these are the players I could shout. Now I will say this: Divock Origi, keep an eye on him, because I think he's gonna be a really great trade option, and I think I'm gonna monitor him. If in this Leicester and Chelsea game he does start, I think he could be a really great option, especially when Mane and Salah is going to AFCON. You know, a short game week, a 2-game week punt, and I think, you know, Divock Origi could be a really good shout. Next, Mikel Antonio, he's here to stay. 7.7 mil, price did drop, and Watford again not having the best season, and they haven't played since game 16, so they're going to come into this game with, you know, haven't played in a while. So at the start there could be a bit mistakes here and there, and if West Ham take advantage of that, there could be a really high scoring game. Lastly, Benteke, I'm going to say it now, possibly one of the last weeks to show me what he's made of, what he could do. Norwich, if I think he gets the start, he could be a really great option. So his place in that team is at risk. As I said, if he starts, he could be a really great option, but currently he's not starting. He's coming off the bench, which I really hate. Either he starts 90 minutes or he doesn't start and just stay on the bench, because that allows my bench players to come on and replace him. But when he always doesn't start, sometimes he just comes on, get the 1 point, which is really annoying for my bench. Let's move on to my bench here. Goodnison, again, he's not going to play. He's out on loan, just a cheap enabler on my bench. Next year, King. Now King, as I said, Benteke, if he doesn't play, keep him on the bench, because King can come on and replace him, especially like rotation risk. Like, you know, Bernardo Silva could get rotated. Mikel Antonio we saw last week. So these players could get rotated, and King is there to come on, a really great option on penalties, a really great forward. Next, GW20, not playing this week. Now, again, could possibly sell him. As I said, I bought him in for 2 weeks, but I'm going to keep him because he's not that of an expensive player like a James, Marcus Alonso. He's a cheap guy. He could stay on my bench. Some weeks I could even bring him in. You know, he could get a goal against City and Tottenham. He's a really attacking minded fullback, so I'm going to keep him, and no plans to sell him. And lastly, Emily Smith-Rowe. Again, the talking point, should I sell him? Probably the upcoming weeks, especially blanking this week. I think I'm just going to keep him on my bench and keep him there, and just take out Maxwell Cornet first. So let's do captains, guys. Heung-min Son's going to get my armband. Southampton, a really poor defense. I was considering, you know, Cancelo, Trent, Bernardo Silva, even Benteke, but then I just thought Son, a safe option. And my vice captain is going to go on Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota could get a return against Leicester, especially losing that 6-3 against City, coming to this game with, you know, a really poor defense. That City showed that how bad their defense were. So we could see another high scoring game week, especially a really top form Liverpool side. And yeah, so guys, that wraps up for another video. I might or might not be live streaming this game week. We will have to see, because the deadline is in a couple of hours. So thank you guys for watching. It's been me, JessFPL. See you guys in the next one.